Thank you everyone for joining. So this meeting is being recorded. Really appreciate your time in attending the Computational Computing Consortium Outreach Committee meeting for December 3rd. I think we have some folks here, so let's get ahead and started. As always, I would like to remind everyone that this meeting is governed by the Linux Foundation antitrust policy. If you're unfamiliar with it, you can find more information at linuxfoundation.org/antitrust policy, or feel free to reach out to me or Rianne for details. And this is a transparent, collaborative, and harassment-free space. Our goal is to support data protection and the adoption of computational computing technologies. So first timer, new members, and I think we have one new member today on Summit. And so love to have you introduce yourself to the bigger group, share your background, and let us know what brings you to the outreach committee.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. I am Samet. I am a product marketing manager at Canonical, the company behind Ubuntu. I recently joined them, and I am also looking forward to contribute to this group in any way I can. I have a technical background. I used to do application security, but I'm switching lanes in my career. So I am very happy to be here and looking forward to learn from you.
All right,
Awesome.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Any other new members who would like to introduce themselves?
I recognize Edgeless, but I don't know if Thomas is a first timer.
Hey everyone. No, not really. Sorry, I'm here in a larger office space, so I have to look for a quiet corner.
No worries.
Mike, good to see you again. No, I think the last time I joined this meeting was maybe a year ago, but we've been with the CCC since around 3 years, 2 years, more than that for sure. And yeah, I'm responsible for business development at Edgeless Systems. We build open source infrastructure software for confidential computing and AI. And we are also organizing the Open Confidential Computing Conference, which is happening again in March next year. And that was one of the reasons why I'm joining this call today. Also because, our marketing team is currently not available, so I'm taking care of that mostly.
Okay, all right. That's why I was Laura, of course, was a regular, but I don't think she has been attending for a while, and so I was just wondering if you were the new person coming in from Edgeless.
Well, I was managing Lara, and Lara is not with the company anymore, and we are currently looking to refill that marketing and community role. Since I'm with Edgeless for a really long time, and I've been also in charge of parts of OC3 for the last 4 years. That's why I'm joining again today. And I know a lot of people from the community already. Also been to San Francisco to the summit, and good to see everyone again.
All right, fantastic. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great, and welcome everyone. So the next, we will approve the minutes from the previous meeting. We currently do not have a quorum, so if there are no objections, then we can proceed with the minutes approved from last meeting. And here's today's. Go ahead, Rian.
I also have not received any objections or any corrections, so it stands as is. Thank you.
Perfect. And here's today's agenda. Any additions or changes anyone would like to propose before we proceed? If not, then we can continue as planned. Some usual reminders. A quick reminder of ongoing outreach resources and processes. So our CCC job board is now running from the getjobs.dev infrastructure. We also have a monthly newsletter that was active, and so we just published the November newsletter. So please subscribe if you have not already, and share updates from your organizations. Blogs continue to be a strong channel. We welcome any content, including use cases, how-tos, and technical deep dives per platform particularly well. And finally, please make sure that you're using the CCC member badge and linking back to our website. And artwork is available on GitHub. Now I would like to move forward to 2026 officer results and process. First of all, I would like to congratulate Laura Martinez, who has been elected as the 2026 Outreach Committee Chair. Is Laura in this meeting today?
I didn't see her.
Okay. If not, it's totally fine, and love to welcome her. And then thank you so much for everyone who has been contributing this year. And for the vice chair role, nominations will remain open till Friday, December 5th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And voting for premium members begins December 8th and closes December 12th. So the results will be announced on the 15th. And if you're interested in nominating yourself or someone else, please contact Brianne and Renew using the emails listed that you've received. Next,
And
I would like to
by the way,
Go ahead.
sorry, Rachel, to interrupt. I just want to encourage folks that, the chair and the vice chair are the engines of this committee, right? And if you want, the outreach committee to be successful, and we need people to provide, to basically lead it and drive that energy. We can turn and rely on members for, particular deliverables, but the chair and the vice chair are critical in making the whole thing work. So if you want to see the committee be successful and get a lot done in 2026, and you might consider standing for this vice chair position, working with Laura. Laura's awesome. So
Awesome. Thank you so much for that feedback and advice, and very well said. And I also really appreciate your time and your leadership, Mike, this year. And if there are no other comments, I will move forward to next topic of today, which is IDC research update. Great news. Our IDC white paper is now officially live on the CCC website. We've also started application across our channels, and a press release article is out. Angela has also posted on LinkedIn and X. And then there's 6 social media series posts that are being planned throughout December and January. And then Angela, thank you again for putting these together, and really appreciate Dan and Angela's help on this. This is a significant asset for both community engagement and industry awareness. So please share it within your organizations and networks. And also thanks for Mike Farron Jones leading this effort. And this is really well done. And I'll go ahead and share those links in the chat here. Go ahead, Mike.
okay, yeah. So just real quick for everyone, there's a lot to learn out, just from the survey, just for our own operations. Whether you're a hardware company or a software company, anywhere you have an interest in driving the market and confidential computing, there's good stuff to learn in the white paper. Not only about what usage models and value propositions people are reacting most positively to, but also how things differ across segments. It should be unsurprising to everyone that the financial services industry has all the money and therefore is farthest along in confidential computing, but it is interesting to see them, the different segments react to different value propositions. So just for internal operations, I would say take advantage of it. Rachel, are you going to talk about promotion by members? Is that an upcoming slide? Or should we take a little bit of time to talk about that?
Yeah, so let's confirm from IDC. I think we got the response from them this morning, right? And so the context of Mike's ask was that how would members distribute these content? And so these are in the clause of the contract that LFCCC signed with IDC. as well as there's a copyright clause within this IDC paper itself. And so from the response we've gotten from IDC so far, it sounds like members would reach out to IDC permissions group directly via the email asking for permission. And so please do so. And then we'll definitely keep you posted. And once we get like final confirmation from both like LF Legal and internal group.
Yeah, I think we should consolidate the specific directives to the members and then send it out via the outreach email list. But basically, there's some rules governing about how the paper can be used. In fact, even I'd have to go back and look at the emails. They want it to be called a certain thing. They don't want it to be called a report.
Yeah,
I think they want it a report. They want it to be called a paper or a study or a something else. They have a thing. Apparently, the word report is reserved for IDC internally generated materials, and materials that they generate on behalf of a sponsor like the CCC or a third-party company are not referred to as reports. They are referred to as white papers or something else. So we'll give you some guidance on that. Second thing is we've already gotten approval for our the things that we're doing with the press release, the things that we're doing with our LinkedIn post and our social little mini social campaign that we're going to be doing. That all that's all permitted usage. We've all cleared all of that with them. If you're going to do something new, to quote a news statistic or package something else in a different way out of the report, IDC wants to have pre-clearance on those. And so we'll send you the link. It's like just permissions@idc.com to get those pre-cleared with IDC to make sure that we are adhering to all the rules and guidelines of their material. They also, they're going to be careful about things like how you cite the paper, and how are you saying something that the report actually says. So if you're taking a statistic out of the report and maybe going a little too far with it, they might rein you back a little bit to what it actually says. Anything that the CCC is going to be doing in the next couple of days with, talking about the press release or our social posts, feel free to just pile on. And, I don't know what a retweet on LinkedIn is, but, repost, things that we do on LinkedIn to help, amplify that news. Okay, yeah, so stand by for an email with the exact email addresses and procedures for getting usages of the white paper data pre-cleared by members.
Yeah, thank you for that note. Any questions, comments before we move on to next topic?
I have a comment about, I think the rollout can be much more improved. I mean, all of these things should have been addressed or prepared prior to the launch. When I reached out to the PR with AMD to amplify this, many of these questions are basic and should have been addressed, and I received them immediately, and I frankly didn't know what to tell them. So we missed an opportunity, at least on our side, to amplify that in AMD social channels, and it was borderline embarrassing.
Why is the opportunity lost?
Because time is of the essence of these channels, right? So momentum is lost. But in general, it's these are basic stuff that need to be addressed. Again, the report is amazing. I apologize if I'm sounding negative, but these logistics need to be addressed in the future. As I think it's a good lesson to whoever's gonna basically all together as outreach committee. And I remember sending an email in May 2025 about the usage what can we use, how can it be used? These are basic things when we do press release, right? If we're going to get momentum and we get amplify message, now it's going to be AMD. Let's say I'm trying to get them to do something today or tomorrow. Tomorrow another company will do it. Like the effect is amplified when everybody's talking about the same thing at the same time. That's why there is a launch date. So I do believe there was a missed opportunity here.
Okay, well, feedback accepted. Yeah, okay, feedback accepted. I'm hoping that we can, I hope that your colleagues in your PR department can find a way to, do some posting or amplification of the announcement.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, as I said, this is more for the future. We'll do our best right now, and I'm sure every member will do. I'm just saying, like, these things are, especially like, I literally get the research person who works at AMD works with IDC, and it's like, oh, what are we permitted? Should I reach out to IDC? Should I not reach out to IDC? Like, all these things need to be like prepared so that when I go with an ask to my PR team, and I'm assuming the same for other company members, like the do's and the don'ts. And here's what is it asked clearly. Like right now, what I did is like, guys, repost the CCC. For now, that's all I can tell them. Like repost the LinkedIn and the X/Twitter, whatever, post. So, but I think we could have done more, in my opinion. If anyway, it felt a little bit uh, like a missed opportunity to amplify the 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 like you see, for example, the fact that it's not called a report. I didn't know that, right? That it's a paper. Like these are things that should be like way ahead prepared. It's like, hey, please don't make sure you don't call it a report, right? Now I actually have to check my email that I sent to my PR. Hopefully, I didn't say call it report, and I don't need to tell them, please don't call it report, call it paper, right? That's the kind of thing, and it's just there's a lot of churn that could be avoided. Again, I know this is more for lessons. I'm not saying this is like, the report is amazing. Thanks, Mike, and everybody who worked on it. Uh, but yeah, these things are tend to be a little bit more complicated when it becomes like to announce them, and PR guys can get a little bit you know not nervous, but I mean they definitely they're doing their job, right? They want to understand what they can or cannot say. So and it's for us to help our fellow colleagues in our respective companies to uh, to do their job properly.
Yeah, and then thank you so
Okay.
much for sharing that feedback app. And then one thing I was thinking to possibly incorporate this in the future is for your context. I think a lot of those terms and exactly to your question, right? A lot of those questions were discussed during the contract negotiation stage. So during that time, and Linux Foundation has shared a lot of those terms, right, and limitations and restrictions on how they would language to be, and with the Linux Foundation legal. So a lot of these conversations were happening before the paper started and during that contract negotiation stage. So I wonder if there's a way to kind of improve that process in the future around that time to make sure that like members are looped in terms of some like terms that will be on the contract. And one thing I was thinking about the limitation at that time was I think this conversation was mostly within like Linux Foundation legal due to like attorney-client privilege. So maybe Rianne, I wonder if this can like for the future reference, can we maybe get members' input during that contract negotiation process to make sure that we collectively as outreach parties, outreach committee, including third parties, right, understand those clauses and then negotiate clauses during that time.
Yeah, the IDC is fairly fixed in what they allow and not allow, and the only thing that was up for negotiation was the term of how long we're allowed to use the paper. If I remember correctly, they only wanted the paper to be public for 12 months, but we negotiated it up to 2 years, and as we expect it to be valuable for the next 2 years. But to Ab's point, yes, I think what could have been better handled but I didn't think about that, is properly determine what is the exact publishing requirement, and like we're doing now, beforehand, and say to all the members, we're going to have this report, this is going to be the output, and this is how we're going to publish it. I haven't done an IDC report, and I haven't thought about that, but hindsight is a perfect science.
Yeah. Well, and again, I take Ab's feedback. I think it's fair. If probably would have done a better job with it if this thing didn't land basically during Thanksgiving, and then trying to hammer it out in the gap between Thanksgiving and between everybody disappearing for Christmas. So yeah, I mean, probably could have done better. A great opportunity for a future vice chair to jump in and provide excellent management of these kind of things in 2026. So just saying. All right, moving on.
Yeah, great discussion. So any other comments, questions? If not, then we can move on to the next topic. Moving on to the 2026 outreach budget, and the governing board has approved a total budget of $200,000, which is composed of $150,000 for events and $50,000 for digital marketing. This table here on the slide shows our proposed breakdown for how we plan to allocate those funds across CCC events and other outreach initiatives. Please know that the total budget has been approved at a high level of $200K, with $150,000 allocated for events and $50K for digital marketing. And the subcategory line item amounts are proposed, not final, and may be adjusted based on an final vendor pricing. And then those breakdown are based on historical projections. So that is for the 2026 outreach budget update. Any questions, comments before we move on to next topic?
So Rachel, like I said, I will not be an officer in 2026, so I can't. A lot of this thing is going to get settled, next year. I just want to note that our strategy that we were trying to drive was, digital marketing, content marketing first strategy, and the proposed budget is still, the events budget is 2 point something x the digital marketing budget. So I think we may want to take a harder look at whether or not we want to still make that level of investment in events, because $50,000 in digital marketing is not going to go very far. I think we need to discuss that one maybe in the next meeting, about what would we get for $50,000, and is that sufficient? And if not, do we need to start tapping some of this money set aside for either like new events or AI Infrastructure Summit and apply that to digital marketing?
Yeah, thank you for that feedback, Mike. Anyone else would like to chime in before we move forward? If no comments or questions, and I would like to provide the next update, which is the marketing update. I will hand over to Angela, who will provide the marketing update for the month of November.
Thank you, Rachel. So in November, next slide, please. Yeah. So in November, it was a quieter month as expected with the holiday period, but we still saw some growth in our audience number. So the audience grew to 2523 followers, which is the 1.61% of month-over-month increase. We published 4 posts, which generated 1,987 impressions overall. And our top performing post was this one that's highlighting, which is the call for participation for FOSDEM 2026. And for December's focus, we will be amplifying the new IDC white paper supported by the coordinated ecosystem promotion. So that's just a high level snapshot. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Angela, for sharing the updates for the month of November. I'm hearing no comments or questions, and we can move on to last item of today, which is other business. I will now open the floor for any updates, questions, or additional agenda items from the committee. Any other topics folks would like to discuss? If not, then we can close the meeting for today.
Yeah.
And thank you again for
Rachel. Just one second. Just one question. Because I said in the beginning that I joined today also because of OC3, and it was interesting for me to see that there was already budget planning for 2026. And my question was, and that's also related to marketing, because we have our call for submissions for talks at OC3, and that is closing next week. So that might also be a good marketing topic, because I think in our community, people are interested in speaking there. We usually have more than 1,000 people from all over the world. We are pushing the community a lot in Germany and in Europe, but we have most participants in the US. We have also a lot of people joining in Asia. And I saw that you have budget also planning for 2026, and we need to close the sponsorship soon, because we are also creating marketing collateral, like for instance, teaser videos, etc. So I just wanted to ask on the status there. I don't know who the right person to ask is.
Thank you so much for that information, Thomas, and it's really great to see that OC3 has been super active, and then we've been having a great pleasure and working with your organization as well. So in terms of first question, right, and then we've amplified the call for submissions, and absolutely, and when it was open, and we've already circulated within the community, and it will certainly circulate again before the due date. And Angela has been helping and with the social amplification for any of those community announcements, and including OC3. And then for the second question, and then Rianne, I see you have a hand up, and would you like to chime in?
If you're done with your point, I can comment.
Yes. So for the second question, and the budget was approved from the high level, which is the total amount, 200K, and then with 150K for events. So under that 150K, and we have proposed a couple of events, including OC3. So that will be continued to worked on with existing officers as well as upcoming officers, and to get that logistics consolidated. And so it'd be helpful for us to have a kind of conversation on in terms of logistics. And usually Linux Foundation, Rianne, would help with those in terms of contract signing and then all that stuff. And then so I'll hand over to Rianne to talk about those details.
All right. Thanks, Angela. Yes, we have had good success working with OC3 in the past, and it is on the roster at the moment from the current leadership planning to be there. But to Mike Ferenjohn's point is that there is a shift in the way we address outreach, because our budget is more than halved from last year. So we need to pick carefully what is most important. Is it CC Summit? Is it OC3 or something else, or all of it, and push back on our digital marketing thought that we had earlier in the year. So last year we had, in the transition point, we signed a contract that kind of got lost in the cracks, which did not result in the most optimal use of funds. So what I would propose is, to Mike's point, we should definitely have a robust discussion, probably the next meeting or the first meeting in January, thoroughly discuss what is the priorities for the outreach committee with the new chairs. By the next meeting, we should have the vice chair seated as well. And then we can probably get rolling with the contract signing in January. Also around contract signing, so we just got the budget approved, and contracts can only be signed and approved after the budget has been rolled out, which would probably be, I guess, just after Christmas somewhere, because finance is busy sorting out those details. So thanks for raising that. Thanks for the urgency. And I think we should really promote the call for papers on all our channels, if Angela can help with that. And then let's talk about this in the next meeting and in the first meeting in January.
Cool. And by the way, just a side note, you're also all very much invited to join us in person in Germany, because we do a hybrid event again in Berlin, where we have a few talks only in Berlin, and then the majority with the technical talks will be streamed, where we focus on open source initiatives, etc. But yeah, happy to meet folks also in person if you make it here, or if someone is on this side of the ocean.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the invitation, Thomas. It's been such a pleasure, as many other members highlighted, to work with y'all. So really look forward to a continued partnership, and glad to have you as part of the community.
Thank you.
And any other business? If no other business, we can go ahead and conclude this meeting. And thank you everyone for your time and engagement today. Really appreciate your contributions and feedback to the committee, and really look forward to collaborating with you as we move forward into 2026. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.